Welcome everyone to Guardian Radio, the first and longest running Destiny podcast on the net. My name is Mark Turkett. I'm broadcasting to you live safely from the top of the tower, step behind the impenetrable walls of the city. And joining me this week, first up, from inside his closet, my morning fire team brother, K-Dub. K-Dub, what's up, dude?
What's up, everybody? Fine to see all you people on live face cams. What's happening? Kind of fun. This is our beta test, if anybody doesn't know. We've been meaning to do this for the longest time and just haven't had the motivation to make it happen. And we said, you know what? Let's roll. In light of the amazing news that's going to be coming out on Thursday, we figured let's go live and do the face cam. So it's cool.
Doing it live.
Welcome to the closet, everybody. You're in it. I did fold back the green screen so you can see my lovely shirts and things and stuff. So in my dresser. But yeah, dude, it's fun. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And that other voice there, the pretty face you can see over there, our King of Queens, Mr. Mesa Sean. Sean, what's up, dude?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, well, we did get that snowstorm that everyone was, the news was teasing us for so long, and I had to break out my Raid galoshes and my new Yukon SLT,
Nice.
and literally took it out on the road, and there was no cars on the road whatsoever, except for other trucks, whatever. So I was having a good old time in four-wheel drive. But yeah, just excited and excited for this Thursday, and hopefully we get some answers to, where the game's going with regards to what Christopher Barrett's been talking about, Deej has been talking about. And yeah, we'll get into some of it tonight.
Definitely, man. We got lots to talk about. But what's up, everybody here? Thank you here for tuning in. Big what's up to everybody over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. We do the show live every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or roughly 8:30 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. But thank you guys for sticking with us here. It's Tuesday. Caleb had a big party last night with the college national championship going on. We had lots of things going. And like we said last week, we asked you guys if you wanted us to continue doing the show live every week, or just live every week, or recording it every week.
Just every week.
And your feedback was ridiculous. And
yes, so many emails. It was
you guys
ridiculous.
want us to do it every week. So we're going to come here every week. Like I said last week, follow us on Twitter at Guardians of D. It's the best way to keep in touch with us and keep up to date with when we're going to be recording the episodes. But we're going to try to stick with it every week. We know the news is a little bit slim, but we're going to have a huge show, I'm sure, next week with the details coming out this week.
One thing I want to say, something that will help. Keep sending in emails. Keep sending in topics. Give us stuff. We did get one email that was really cool with just different ideas of segments and stuff. Hey, man, we love hearing from you guys. Love hearing your ideas. Send that stuff in. The more, the better. It's awesome.
Yep. Anything
Speak
we can
pipes
do
too, right? We got to get some more speak pipes in too.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Anything we can do to just keep content going is going to be huge to keep the show rolling. But quick housekeeping, don't forget, like I said, follow us on Twitter at Guardians of D. You can always email us feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com. It's the best way to get your comments read here on the show. And also, we do have our clan spotlight. I want to throw that out now. And we do receive those even through email. There is a link down in the show notes. You can see it there. But you can also email that to us. We have a group that we're going to mention here a little bit later on in the show. So get those coming in. Kata, when was the last clan spotlight that we had?
November 21st.
Yeah.
So I know that we had holidays and we had a little bit of a lull and some content stuff, and I get it. And people have been a little averse to Everest. But just still, hey, look, if you're playing and you have a clan, or if we've had a lot of emails, people saying they don't have people to play with. Well, damn it, join a clan.
That's right, join the clan.
And so if you have a clan and you want to have more people to play with you, send us a spotlight.
Yep.
We'll get you out there.
Yep. And don't forget to check out the other shows here on the Guardian Radio Network, including Ghosts and Echoes, our audio drama podcast. The Guardian One podcast, those guys record every week. Focus Fire Chat, our lore focus podcast. And, of course, our non-Destiny shows, The Enthusiast Life, featuring myself and my good buddy Chris Maselli, one of the original co-hosts of Guardian Radio. And then you'll also have Bell's show, This Guardian Life. So if you're looking for more Destiny stuff, check out Bell's show, too. But, boys, before we get into the news, I had an epic exotic loot drop happened from all this past weekend.
No, you didn't.
This,
no,
boys.
you didn't.
Let me show you this,
boys.
boys.
You did not have a loot drop.
Are you showing it to us on camera?
You did not have a loot drop.
I did.
You bought it from Zer, damn it.
For those tuning in through the video, I found one of the giant Galahorns at GameStop. And yeah, so you can hear it. It's got a little audio going on there. The thing vibrates. It's ridiculous, dude. It's hilarious.
How many strange coins did that cost you?
Exactly.
Destiny 2.
You know what? The guy
Legendary
told me, he's
Star-
like, it's on sale, man. Do you remember how much they went for? Were they $250?
It was
they
a lot of
launched?
money. I was thinking again. I was
I
like,
remember thinking that's not that expensive. I was like, wow, that's all
I
for
think
that.
it was $250 because right now Amazon has them for $250. It's $170 at GameStop, which
That's awesome.
still
That's
is
not
a
bad
hell
at
of a
all.
lot of money. But it was like, oh, the kids saw it. They were like, Dad, you got to get that. But look at, they even put the orange tip on it. Who in their right mind is going to think that this is a real
I saw that too.
rocket
I was
launcher?
like, "Real? Do you really think someone's gonna come out
I know,
in a public
right?
space like with a gallon? Like, he's got a rocket launcher. He's gonna kill everybody." Like, no, they nerfed it. They nerfed it. Like,
I know,
you go to the
right?
cops, no, they nerfed it. It's got the wolf puppy rounds now. It's not
And
even
then
that
also on top of that, they put like, this kills me, man. Like whenever you buy these toys now, like even you can see behind me, I have like the Star Wars helmet. The one is my 501. The other one is just the Black Series that Star Wars put out. But they have to put like these sounds in them. Like
Yeah.
it's cool, I guess, that it makes like the sound. But all I want to do is put this up on my wall on display. I don't need the little speaker holes in the screw where the battery goes.
Right.
It's I don't know. It's weird.
It's not for you, Mark. It's a children's toy.
But it looks cool though.
I'm a
It does
giant
look really
child,
cool.
man. I'm a giant child. Come on. But yeah, it's very cool. I would tell people, if you're a hardcore Destiny fan, it probably is worth it to you. $250, I think, would have been a little bit of a stretch because it is. I mean, it's plastic. You can hear it. I mean, it is a little bit chintzy, but the detail on it is pretty sweet.
Is it the iron Gjallarhorn or is
It's
it
the iron,
regular?
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
it is the iron one.
Yeah, 'cause it's black. Yep. You
Awesome.
can see
man.
it's all black.
Yep. That's
So,
awesome.
but I mean, the detail, you can see this thing, dude. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Except for
It
the
looks
giant
awesome,
orange
man.
tip.
Yeah.
But,
Sick.
so if you were one of those people wanting to get it, now may be the time 'cause it's much cheaper. So check GameStop or Amazon. But,
Or you can
all
buy
right,
it at
boys.
Eververse, I heard too.
Yeah,
not even go
of
there.
course, of course, that's what happened. I put out that I got it, and that's all the comments were like, "Oh yeah, Eververse, they're getting more money out of you." Ridiculous. So, all right, well, let's move on here, guys, to some real news in our news segment that we call "Dispatches from the Traveler." All right. Well, it looks like the rumors are true, guys. Crimson Days is returning, and Cosmo confirmed this. Was it on Reddit that he confirmed it?
Well, it was Reddit, and then I think he responded somewhere. It might have been the Bungie forums, but I know that Alan Moore Console tweeted out the quote from Cosmo that
Right.
it's not a rumor, that we'll find out on Thursday what the changes will be, that it will be different than last year's. And also Thursday is when we're getting our big news update for where the game's going from the go forward, you know.
Yep.
And people need to keep in mind anything we talk about now with Crimson Doubles or Crimson Days is subject to change because the Redditor who found all this in the API said that this was all in the data files when the before the Dawning even hit. I think when Curse of Osiris came out. So depending on what changes Bungie's going to be making to Destiny 2 from the go forward Thursday might impact the way this whole Crimson Days is going to roll out.
Gotcha. What do you guys think? Are you excited for Crimson Days? I mean, it's one of those events that I think we should expect, but I think of all the events, this is the one that I don't.
Mark, that was literally,
care
if you
for
remember,
it.
and yeah, I know you remember, it was literally the only event in Destiny 1 that you and I went in and played the minimum required amount.
Which was what, like 10 matches? That's all you needed, right?
It was one match. We played one match. It was
Crimson
it.
Days last year was when everyone realized that Thorn and Firebolt nades were wonderful all of a sudden. Do you remember that? Like that
Ugh.
Crimson Days brought back everyone using Thorn, and then it
Right.
caused them to
Yeah, we've had people in the chat
Thorn.
saying bring Thorn back for Crimson Days, and I'm like, no.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But if it was a power weapon, it wouldn't be as bad, but still, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
yeah, maybe that's the way to do it, right? Bring it back as a power weapon. I didn't think of that, Kato. That may be the way to do it.
yeah, but if you think about it, they said that all the weapons are, I guess, handcrafted or can be tuned separately, right? So even if something was to come back that everyone thought was annoying, they could tune it for PvE and tune it for PvP. Because that was my big gripe. I know the PvP get angry at me, like when I say this, but I think they're the reason why Hawkmoon, Red Death, Thorn, there's a plethora, Truth even for them. Well, no, not so much Truth, but so many other weapons that I liked using in the
miss Truth.
raid, using in PvE, were rendered useless because they were overpowered in PvP. Vex Mythoclast, another thing too. Not when it first came out, but when fusions got hit, Vex got hit because it classified as a fusion.
Right.
So kind of like if they could bring things back, and they said they can fine tune things. You know, they haven't done a sandbox update yet, really. I mean, they've tweaked little things here and there, but listen, I think we want new toys. We want new exotics. I don't really think we want to see too many of the old things come back. Or I'd like to see, like, look, that new Red Death hand cannon called Crimson. Thing is amazing. You know, I like how it's a twist on Red Death, but it's a pulse hand cannon. You know, I'd like to see more things like that. You know, like a Suros Regime pulse rifle that kind of looks like Suros Regime, but functions as a pulse rifle. Just not the exact same gun back, but something that was like related to it, or maybe has the lore tab that explains how it's a relative of Suros Regime or something like that. But when I see these rewards, I see sparrows and I see ghost shells, and then I see weapon ornaments.
Exotic ornaments.
And I see exotic ornaments. At this point, I want new toys. You know, that was one of the things that I brought up in this weekend's video about, you know, changes to the endgame and things, and how I feel that Eververse is a distraction because, you know, okay, granted, all the stuff like sparrows, ghost shells, ships and stuff used to be in the endgame. But if they even took all of this and plopped it in the game, people still wouldn't be happy. And for myself, I want new toys. I want new weapons. I want armor that's going to give me some benefits in the raid. I want armor that's going to benefit me in PvE or even PvP. I was saying before the show, I miss going into PvP and going in each character, like make sure he's got the gauntlets that gives me increased melee attack speed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of guns in the game, but there's not many that are that wow me. I've got my
because they're trying to keep on balance. They're trying to keep balance, and the drawback to keeping balance is there's nothing that blows your skirt up. Yeah. So but the funny thing about all of these things that we're seeing with Crimson Days and the things we're seeing with the Dawning, the Dawning a little less because there was armor, but everything, all these cosmetic things with being inundated with all this cosmetic stuff. Yeah, it makes it all less valuable. Yeah, like so. Why on earth do I want to go buy any one of these 100 puffy ghosts that I don't like, or any one of those 10 red and white and black sparrows? That there's just too many there's now too many cosmetic items. Yeah, and none of them have any value because the reason that you want something is because it's rare. I'm a collector. I used to own a sports card shop. The thing that makes something valuable is its rarity. Yeah. If you're inundated with crap, nobody gives a crap about it.
You know, I think if they just did small events like this, it's okay. Like what's coming with Crimson Days, even though the event's not for me, I would be okay with those cosmetic items if something like Curse of Osiris really brought in all those new things to chase, right? So, Sean, like if they brought in things where it was awesome weapons and that each thing really were these fun tools that really made your player experience much better, your experience in the game much better, then a Crimson Days event with a few cosmetic things wouldn't be that big of a deal. But when that's the only content that we're getting, that's the problem. And that's why I even think for the Dawning, a lot of people had issues because that new stuff pretty much dropped right after Curse of Osiris. Curse of Osiris really didn't bring anything new that blew anybody's socks off. No. And so then you get this new stuff with the Dawning, and it was like, man, like we need more stuff. And so that's why I think they're kind of in a tough spot, because even this Thursday, when we get that kind of roadmap of what is potentially coming, I almost wish there was a way for them to take some of the loot that's going to be in the next expansion and put some of that out now. Yeah. Like, you know, because that would almost win faith back with the community. Them saying, hey, here was some loot that was going to be in the next expansion. We're just going to release it almost free, or, you know, you have to grind for it, to the community. Here's new stuff to chase, and then have them start building some new stuff, new loot drops, or even if they have to go back and kind of reskin things, but somehow make them better. Maybe that's where the new updated mod system could potentially come in and change the loot that's already in the game. I don't know, but it's like this. I think there's going to be a very cold reception to Crimson Days because it's just
because like the weapon. It depends, but it depends though, because there's some rumors that there's also going to be some PvE stuff, maybe even raid stuff involved.
I hope, man. Yeah.
You know, it's not just going to be Crimson doubles. You know, so I think there's going to be more to it this time than was before. The problem is, if that's what the rewards are that we were just looking at on screen,
Well, also, like just to backtrack with the weapon forging thing, because Mark, like you had said that there was nothing that really blew our socks off. That was part of my feedback with regards to forging. Is I love the concept. I loved what you had to do to get them and to make them and everything. But are they replacing my Nameless Midnight, my Better Devils, my Prosecutor, my Uriel's Gift? No. I mean, I'll occasionally use one or two for fun, but for the most part, I think if we're staying with static rolls, we need to have God roll weapons to really chase after, or as Christopher Barrett said, they want to introduce a more simplified and more interesting modification system. So at this point, if static rolls aren't going, I get tweeted a million times a day, they need to bring back random rolls. Listen, I want random rolls as much as the next person. I don't think it's coming back. However, if they could just build on the mod system, and we beat this dead horse. We beat this dead horse every single week. But if they could somehow let us craft our own mods to make a God roll XYZ that we can use in PvE and, quote, feel powerful again. And then when you go into PvP, all those mods are deactivated, kind of like locked loadouts. Just the base kinetic or burn mod on that weapon is active. This way, the PvP folks will have balance. Your Better Devils is the same as my Better Devils. But in PvE, let me feel OP. That's what we miss. We miss feeling OP.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No doubt.
We're just getting that raid weapon and then going out into the Cosmodrome or the Citadel or Ember Caves and just destroying everything because I got a cool new toy to play with.
What are the most memorable moments in Destiny 1? They were every single time something was broken. They were Vex Mytho when it first came out. It was the Thorn thing that I literally read Lars the Riot Act on this show when he was on there about freaking Thorn because I was so sick of it. And Galley and just all these different things, that those were the things. But you know what it did, though? It made you chase it because you had to get it. Because if you didn't get it, you're getting your ass kicked.
Yep.
Right? You had to go get it because if anybody else did, you're going to get crushed. So it made you go get stuff because you wanted. It was good to have something occasionally broken in the game. People would bitch about it, but the reality of it was they were having a freaking blast.
That's when it's the most fun. Yeah, man.
Right.
The Prometheus Lens laser tag
that was the best
fun.
That was the best week of D2.
It was fun.
Best week of D2. Other than maybe this last week with Mayhem.
Mayhem
was awesome.
a lot of fun too, yeah.
But that laser tag weekend was amazing.
Yeah. What do you think they could do? I mean, there are these rumors of possible raid content linked to Crimson Days. Because, look, it looks like from reading everything else, I think Crimson Doubles is probably coming back. Doubles, to me, is not a game mode that I like at all. I mean, Caleb, we literally did the minimum in D1 just to get... What did you get, a ghost? Wasn't it the red ghost?
And an emblem or something?
There was the chocolate shell and the sugary
shell.
Right.
Yeah,
but
got the
one quick point that I was just thinking about, because I play PvP every night with two of my friends, Chris, shout out to C Minnow and Versace Viper. And I was kind of thinking to myself, wait, I'm not a big fan of 4s because I was a big fan of 6s, right? Mm-hmm. Would I maybe like doubles more than I do 4s? I mean, it's still going to be team shooting, but I'm trying to say to myself, what if it's doubles with revives? You know what I mean? I might enjoy it more than I do 4s.
Here's the thing, the maps now are smaller than they were in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
And if you remember in Crimson Days when it came, it was only on a couple of maps because they were the smaller maps. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's a little different, but I don't know, man.
Well, you know what's an option? And because number one in Halo, back, Bungie's old game Halo, like I even hated doubles there. But you could play game modes where it would be like 2 on 2 on 2 on 2. What if they did it that way and it was like
that
4
would be
teams
pretty
of
brutal.
2?
Yeah.
Rather than the 2 on 2 and the camping. I mean, you're constantly moving. That might be interesting. A different take this time, so it's different than
remember,
the way it was last time.
I asked for that when we were talking about faction wars. And have two people from each different faction. Have 2 Monarchy people, 2 Dead Orbit people, 2 Future Warcraft people, and have a little battle like that. That's a different deal. And then maybe you get a reward from your faction or something.
Yeah.
That's a whole different animal. That would be pretty cool.
But I think, dude, I think in Crimson that would work. That I think would be, because I would be more apt to play that, because then it's like you're not just out hunting 2 other people and they're camping somewhere and you're just going to get wrecked. Where here, you're just constantly on your toes, moving as a team, looking at every angle. It's not just following, kind of the motion.
And remember, too, with Crimson Doubles, the problem was people would just sit in the back of the map and jump off the thing and die just to get through. It was like sometimes you couldn't even shoot anybody. They were just dead. You would bloop, bloop, they're dead. And you're like, what the hell? They were just there to get the rewards. And I'm like, all right, this is fun.
Yep.
They also, when you look at that image too, there's a symbol in the top left corner that has the Raid skull with 4 swords on it. At this point, I'm like, is that related to the Raid, or is it just some sort of? Because one of the things that was in the data files, it said sudden death, right, or a sudden death mode, or something like that, or win a match of sudden death. I'm wondering if, because remember in Crimson Doubles last year when you would die, your teammate would die, you would then become enraged or whatever, and or heartbroken, and you get increased agility, health, all this sort of stuff, speed and everything, and power. It might just be related to that, or it could be something else. Bungie, if things are changing on Thursday and this stuff can be earned in the game, please throw some stuff into the Raid. That would be really sweet if you complete XYZ.
Well, if you notice on the screen, the thing we're showing on the screen on the top left, there is a little Raid emblem there.
That's the one. That's what he's talking about.
That's the Raid skull right there. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
And then there's 4 medals on the bottom, and also in the data files, I don't have it handy, but someone said Rumble is definitely in there. If you notice, there's another where Mayhem was on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, there's an empty diamond there. When I went to play Curse of Osiris, I saw those 2 diamonds there, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, those are definitely 2 game modes, like, that are coming to Destiny 2. Right. So Mayhem's going to be there. So I'm assuming Crimson Doubles is going to be in the other diamond. But what if they put Rumble and Crimson Doubles in? Because Rumble supposedly is in the database. And I think Bife tweeted out today, one of those medals that you see on the bottom, I think is related to Rumble.
Rumble, right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you guys can educate me on that. Yeah, but...
Well, we're going to get into this here in a little bit about what's possibly coming and the things that they're going to be trying to address in a minute. And one of them is game modes. So I definitely think we're getting Rumble back. But we'll talk about that here in a minute. But yeah, no, I agree with you, dude, completely.
I mean, but I'm thinking, like, for the Raid, what could they possibly do? I mean, with the Dawning, they added the snowballs, right, to the strikes. Yeah. Could they do something with the flower petals in the Raid? I don't know.
I think it'll just be something like an emblem or a shell from Crimson Days that you can only get by doing the Raid during Crimson Days. Yeah, it's going to be something. It's going to be something cosmetic that you can only get.
Well, as a reward, but why would there be an icon? Why would they have an icon with the Raid?
Because you're going to get rewards for doing the Raid during Crimson Days.
Yeah.
But we do see 4 swords on that little Raid icon. Does that mean go and do the Leviathan with 4 people instead of 6?
Oh, that's interesting.
Our new Crimson layer, maybe? Could they possibly dump a new layer or something? I mean, I doubt
that's a good
it.
Question.
Oh,
I doubt it. But
no way. Yeah, no way. No, I don't think so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at that picture with all the loot and stuff, you also see there's some Osiris boxes at the bottom. It looks like. You see that right there?
Yep.
There's one that looks like it has some sort of core that's right next to the 2 shaders, below the new weapon ornaments right there. You see like an Osiris box, and then you see something that it's like glowing in some sort of like other box. I have no idea what that's going to be.
It looks like a loot box. Looks like a loot crate.
Moving on.
Looks like a loot crate.
Son of a...
But you know what? I also heard, also, what about clan rewards as far as Crimson Days 2? So, I think we'll see. I think that there may be some clan rewards regarding Crimson Days as well. So,
yeah.
And we've got those new weapon ornaments for the exotics. And
exotics.
I don't know. I'm kind of over the weapon ornaments right now. I don't care what the exotics look like. I'd rather have some new exotics or some new legendaries. And I almost feel like the Masterworks have now kind of devalued exotics right now, because for me, I just been collecting. People watched me get really lucky the other day, because people were saying that if you pop 3 coins before you cash in on your milestones and cash in Bright Engrams, you have a higher chance of getting exotics from the Bright Engrams, Luminous Engrams, and then also from the Powerful Engrams. So I did that, and I got at least 6 or 7 Masterwork weapons. So I'm doing that every single time that I cash in my milestones. But right now, I've re-rolled all my favorite weapons: Nameless Midnight, Better Devils, Prosecutor, Origin Story.
My favorite gun.
That now I'm not using exotics really at all, except for maybe the Colony for fun. And
that's what I was saying, Sean. What's the point of using the exotics? I mean, I still use my Mida just because I love using the Mida, but that's there's no icebreaker to use, or something that has this perk on it that you need to be using. Before, like in Destiny 1, there were exotics you had to use.
Yeah.
In D2, and so that's where the ornaments, like you said, they're devalued. It's like, unless it's your favorite exotic.
Something that came to me. I was thinking about D2 and we used to have. How often did we used to have meta talk?
Oh God!
How often did we talk about the meta changing, and now the meta is this, the meta is that? We don't ever have meta discussions anymore.
No.
I started, and I have Mida and Prosecutor, and then whatever power weapon. That's been my loadout since day one, and I haven't changed. Occasionally, if I want to use some other exotic and I got to take Mida off, I'll put something else on. But for the most part, I'm just running Mida Prosecutor all day long, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it PvE or PvP. I mean, they work. It's just so I kind of miss that. I miss the meta changing. Slade says it's because Bife's gone. Bife's not gone, by the way. He's just occupied.
He's busy
talking to his girlfriend. That's where he is.
He's on a Skype call with her right now.
He's on a Skype call.
But I miss the meta changing is the point that I was making. I miss those, a weapon is occasionally broken, so now the meta is different. I miss that stuff. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm the same way with PvP. I either use Nameless Midnight if it's Distant Shore. I'm always going to use Prosecutor. I'll use Origin Story, or if I'm feeling frisky and my aim is on, I'll use Better Devils. And then for my power, I'm always going to use Sins of the Past, or if I want to annoy people, I'll use the Colony. But other than that, I don't really feel the need to Pulse Rifles, in my opinion, except for the Time Worn Spire, I think are really difficult to use in PvP unless you're Aztecross or something, because that guy can use any weapon and be good with it in PvP.
Great, yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. So we know Thursday we are going to get the big update from This Week at Bungie, which we know it's going to be Deej writing it, but Christopher Barrett is going to have a big part in that. Deej did tweet that out, and I think even Chris said that too, so look out for that. So next week we're going to have a ton to talk about. But, we didn't mention, I don't know if we recorded last week before this drop, but we had do we want to call it the biggest update? Or should I call it the smallest update ever to Destiny on January 3rd? I love this hotfix. I just kind of running over. It was literally two things, just all players who do not own the Curse of Osiris now have access to Iron Banner, and then all players who do not own the Curse of Osiris have access to faction rallies.
And the loot that comes with them.
I love that, dude. I actually to me, that was like the greatest update I think ever on This Week or at the Bungie.net, which was super cool.
That should have just said, they should have just been a hotfix, said, sorry, JK.
I loved it, man. I thought that was great.
Yep.
But let's dive in here a little bit. So the blog, like we said, this Thursday, there's going to be an update. Christopher Barrett himself, here's what he said. He said, for anyone curious, I read Bungie forums, I read Reddit, I read Twitter, I watch Twitch, I also play Destiny. I share your love of the game. I'll talk about where we are headed Thursday. And some of these issues that he's going to be talking about are Eververse, Mayhem, Vault Space, the Endgame, including strikes, raids, and item collection, Crucible, meaning game types and team sizes, sandbox balancing, 3 of coins, Curse of Osiris weapon forging, and the Masterworks and weapon and armor mods.
Yep.
It's going to be a big one, boys.
All of those things need to be addressed.
And I will be streaming it live right here on YouTube. Well, actually not on Twitch, on YouTube.
Streaming it.
Well, it's like I'm not going to bother racing to make a video. You know what? I'm going to fire up the stream and everyone can come and watch. I'll be streaming right here on YouTube at Mesa Sean, and we can all go through it together and either complain or be happy with hopefully some really good changes,
Yeah,
when he says Mayhem,
if you're happy, people are going to complain.
When he says Mayhem, is he talking about the glitch? The Voidwalker glitch?
Maybe the Nova Bomb glitch.
Yeah.
Where did he list those items? I'm trying to find that right now.
It was, I forget where I found it.
Yeah,
it was on. It was a blog post. It was under the hotfix thing. I think the hotfix blog post.
Oh, okay, got it.
I found it somewhere and I just typed them all in.
Okay,
but
we said game types and team sizes. Can you imagine if Rift came back and they?
I think that's speaking to Rumble and sixes.
Okay, wow.
I think it's Rumble and sixes.
I would love for sixes to come back.
Right.
Love it. Love sixes.
I don't know, guys. It's going to be a big one. I know
the
community will be on it.
Do you think the three of coins thing is just because they aren't freaking working?
Yeah, they're not working right now, I think.
And then it says Curse of Osiris weapon forging. What are they going to change there?
One of the things I think I like the process that you have to go out and get things like the Radiolarian cultures.
Midichlorian culture.
Midichlorian. Star Wars. Those are fun because you can get them from anywhere.
Funny.
You know, I could just Sabuba. I could just go out. I could just go to you know, the EDZ, pop a treasure map, and just go, you know, farm for them. The Paradox amplifiers, those were a nightmare because you either had to play Crucible nonstop or do strikes, and because we're limited to only, what do we have, 5 or 6 strikes on PlayStation right now?
Yeah,
you're doing them over and over, and then if you get blueberries and you're there for a while and you finish the strike and you didn't get any. But then Mayhem Clash came around. That's where I finished all my forging, because Mayhem Clash, I was having fun and I was getting Paradox amplifiers like crazy. So I think if they just, I hope they bring weapon forging back, but just tweak it a little bit so that you got to do everything within the game, including like maybe even the raid or night. Well, the Nightfalls were included, but I mean like maybe even some raid stuff. You have to go in to do these things. Don't just limit it to strikes and PvP for one thing, chests, you know, for everything. Like include lost sectors. You know, I think Chris Barrett said in one of the posts somewhere or on Twitter or something, utilization of lost sectors at some point. Excuse me.
Right.
So we'll see.
So Ed was saying over in the chat too that for sixes to come back, they need larger maps.
Yeah.
Yes and no, because if you think about it, the map that everybody loves so much that they kind of vamped. It's the same exact map basically, but favorite Distant Shores. Yeah. We used to run sixes on that all day long, baby. And there's some other ones, and they could tweak some things. You could still run sixes on a smaller map. You're gonna be right back in the action real quick. I'll tell you that much. I know what's the one map that you have? What's the map that you have the man cannons on that you could have sixes on that all day?
Yeah,
that's huge. So there's maps that you could put sixes on. Yeah, you could do that, no doubt.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have. One more thing news-wise here, and actually, I think this interview was weeks ago, but suddenly it was breaking this week. I don't know why it took so long.
It went viral.
It did go viral.
And even Schreier said, I reported this in 2016, but go for it, Mark.
Jason Schreier was on the Destiny Tracker show, which kudos to those guys. We know those guys over there. And it was revealed, and I don't want to go down too far down the rabbit hole, but Jason Schreier is saying that Destiny 2 plans were scrapped and restarted with only 16 months to finish and deliver. And he also stated that continual DLC drops were putting too much of a strain on the studio, and thus they decided to drip feed players smaller activities and events to meet revenue targets, which also led to Eververse being brought in. And Activision was on boord for that. So
most of what Jason Schreier is always dead on. But the thing is this confirmed? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this fake news, or is this like this is what really happened? You know what I mean?
Well, this is one of the things that he is saying that he knows from people that obviously he knows people at Bungie, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they give him some real scoop. And I think the 16 months thing. I mean, I can believe it, man. That's a hell of a time to cram all that in. And part of the drip feeding the smaller events, which is where the Crimson Days and the different things like that came in, right? And then by doing those smaller activities with the live team, right? Yeah. And that's what we were sold Eververse on. We're giving you Eververse so that we can afford to give you drip feed more content like these different things that the live team is doing. And that then allowed, because what we don't know on the back end, and this is what Sean and I always do this, but what you don't know is they have a contract with Activision. I guarantee you, I promise you, there are goals and criteria that Bungie needs to meet in regards to revenue every quarter to make sure that shareholders are happy. That stuff is real world stuff. That's why Eververse, it's hard for me to believe that it's going anywhere. But so the bottom line being, that's why those things were brought in. And it was reasonably successful in D1 because nobody was completely put off by it, because it was just stuff that you could buy if you wanted an emote, if you wanted something silly. Okay, cool. And it helps us get more content. Everybody's cool with it. Now it's a different animal. Now everybody's pissed off because now it's the only way to get certain things. It's overwhelming. There's too much of it. It's
right.
So,
and I think, Christopher Barrett himself saying that, they need to start basically respecting players' time. Like that's what hopefully tomorrow or not tomorrow, but Thursday, we're going to get details on how are they going to now respect our time in regards to Eververse, because it seems like that, of course, is the biggest issue. They're going to hopefully acknowledge it this Thursday, and we can get the answer to exactly what it is. But K-Dub, I think the big thing that Schreier was revealing wasn't just, what he was saying and what you said is kind of the obvious, but it's really the fact that it was Bungie's
Everything was
decision.
scrapped, right?
Well, that it was Bungie's, but then also that it was Bungie's decision for Eververse. Because everybody kept saying, oh, Activision forced them to put it in. And this is basically Bungie saying, hey, we can't make this content quick enough. It's it's a strain on the studio. So, hey, if we do these smaller things, we can still make your revenue targets rather than sell like a massive DLC, which is what they did for vanilla Destiny Year 1 and now Destiny 2 Year 1. We can put in this small, little Eververse, and we can sell these microtransactions. And Activision just said, sure, whatever. As long as you meet those revenue goals, that's cool. Yep. So that's what Schreier was kind of revealing. And so I think, if anything, that's where people may pull the negative side of it. But like you said, it's real life. It's understandable. This is
they couldn't. We are so ravenous, and I'm sending it to you right after the show.
Yeah.
We're so ravenous as far as playing this game and consuming the content so quickly that they can't keep up.
They can't. No. Yeah, it's unreasonable.
Two things I wanted to comment. The reboot could be possible because I don't know when, but there was a change in leadership within Bungie where the CEO either left the company or stepped down, and then Pete Parsons came in. So usually when you have a change in leadership at the senior level from the capital equipment medical device companies that I work for, usually means something big either happened or something. I could imagine something happening that caused them, maybe they did have to reboot the whole game back in 2016. So there could be some truth to that. I don't know. But back to the Eververse thing, I don't know, man. You know what? I laugh sometimes because I have friends who, were laughing about spending $200 in Destiny 1 to get the Age of Triumph outfit, and yet they're outraged at the Eververse thing right now. You know what I mean? Like, either way, they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Even if they took everything out of Eververse and plopped it into the end game, no one's going to be happy. It's already devalued because when you see someone with a cool ship, you're like, did they get the... Because I was looking at the factions, and by the way, New Monarchy has by far the best-looking Ghost Shell, Sparrow, ship, everything. Looks amazing for the next faction rally. Even if they start to move that stuff into the game, it's already kind of devalued because when you see... you used to look at someone's Nano Phoenix, like, whoa, that guy got lucky. Right. Or that guy, that person grinded the Wrath of the Machine so much. Whereas now you see a ship, you're like... Did they get it from the game, or did they get it from a Bright Engram, or did they put silver into Eververse and buy it?
Right.
So the damage is already done. I want more weapons and armor. I want more stuff. Those are the carrots I want to grind for.
Right.
And that's where people yell at me all day. That, why don't you have a problem with Eververse? Because I think it's an effing distraction. Look, I don't care about sparrows and ships and shaders. I want toys. I want more weapons. I want more armor that's going to make me feel OP. I don't care what my Ghost Shell looks like or what my Sparrow looks like. I don't look at that stuff. I don't look at the ship. Exactly. I want better weapons. I'd rather them spend more time. Remember when Iron Banner came back from Rise of Iron and all the weapons were completely different? The Clever Dragon and all that. They sounded different. They looked different. They're all worn, like a beat
up and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, I'd rather them put time into that stuff for me to grind for, rather than just taking all the stuff that's cosmetic and throw it into the game.
And as the game is currently, the problem is they don't make any money from that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we've said this for the longest time, Shawnee. It's a double-edged sword. Yep. They have to make money for the developer and for shareholders, but they have to also try and keep the people that consume their game happy. And it's really not that easy. No. I'm not making excuses for them, but it's not that easy. It's really not. And, they did pretty well with D1, trying to, walk that line, but it's gotten increasingly thinner. And it's, hopefully we're going to find out on Thursday if they're going the right direction, but we'll see.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it for the news, guys. Like I said, this week was a little bit slow. We had some things in there, but next week, obviously the big one. So, K-Dub, let's move on here. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, we have a clan spotlight to throw out here. So who do you have for us this week, man?
I'm excited about this, man. So we got this in an email, and they just sent us an email, and I said, you know what? That's our clan spotlight, because these guys look awesome. And they didn't say in their email what platform they're on, but it's Bravo Company 24, and they're on the 100, which we did a show. Geez, I don't know how long ago it was with the 100IO, but it says, "Hey, Guardian Radio, just wanted to give you some feedback. Guardian Radio has been one of my weekly Destiny rituals for the last 3+ years. I have really enjoyed your level-headed perspective and honest enjoyment of the game. The thing I appreciate the most about Guardian Radio is your commitment to the community, helping out individuals, clans, and supporting causes within the community. I'm writing this as my clan Bravo Company 24 on the 100 is planning our 3rd anniversary celebration. Our clan is spread all across the U.S. We have had meetups in New York City and Austin, which is in Texas, if you didn't know, and many meetups in D.C., Boston, and Seattle. I have really enjoyed when my clan members have been a part of the show, Nino and O'Buzzard. The best part of this game is the community, and you're all a big part of it. I know that regardless of the frequency, you'll continue to produce a great show with all aspects of the community in mind. Thank you for all that you do for the game and the community. Keep up the great work, but most importantly, human male Titan." We've got a picture on the screen of a bunch of people at one of their meetups. I'm not sure which location what this is, but man, look at all those people. They're having a great time, and that reminded me when I saw it, I was like, is that the Wing House?
That's cool.
Yes. I was like, wow, that's really cool. But hey, congrats to you guys. And look, if you're looking for a clan, there's a bunch of really cool people that are passionate about not only the game, but the community. And Bravo Company 24, they're on the 100. Go look them up. If you're looking for people to play with, hey, that's a cool bunch of people right there. So there you go.
No doubt. All right. Let's move on here to our final segment, the part of the show where we get you guys involved that we call Messages from the City. All right. Well, don't forget you can email us feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com, just like Caden. I finally stumped you.
Kylo.
I like Caden.
Kylo
like
Ren.
Caden did, and he says, "Hey, Guardian Radio crew, this is Minuteman 34 from the Xbox side. I'm suffering from what I'm sure a lot of us are feeling, and that's the lack of desire to play Destiny 2. I'm a Day 1 Destiny player who had close to 800 hours in D1, and in D2, I only have about 30 hours played. I haven't finished all of Curse of Osiris content yet, and I really want to, but I can't get myself to do so. I still keep an eye on news and podcasts, but with everything that's happening in D2, like the Eververse headache and the other usual complaints we have, is there anything you guys can shed light on or say that might get a lapsed player like myself to get back into Destiny 2? Thanks for the great podcast. It always helps me through my day. Keep up the good work." Well, Caden, thanks for the email. Sure. What do you guys think?
Look, I still play Destiny 2. As for a lapsed player, I don't know. Well, if you haven't played in a long time, maybe start with forging some weapons. If you have Curse of Osiris. Oh, no, I haven't finished all the Curse of Osiris content yet. I'd finish the Curse of Osiris content and maybe start forging the weapons and see if you enjoy that player experience. I enjoyed the player experience. I think the heroic adventures, they're difficult. You're going to need some friends for those. But for me, myself, and I'm looking at time wasted on Destiny, I have 429 hours played already.
I had to look at mine recently.
I haven't looked. To be frank, I mix it up. Look, I play Star Wars Battlefront every night, but I also play Destiny 2 every night. You know what I mean? So I think people, they throw all their eggs in one basket and I only upload Destiny 2 because I would get crucified if, God forbid, I like a game that's published by EA. Oh, God forbid, whatever. I love Star Wars and I love Battlefront. Okay?
Hey, Sean, you know what you should do? You should upload just doing microtransactions on an EA game.
They took them out.
I know.
They're going to be an Anthem. There's going to be some cosmetic ones in Anthem.
I tweeted out a picture that because they make you grind to get so many kills to upgrade your star cards to get to level 20 where you can now max them out, right? So I tweeted out a picture like, I finally grinded it out after all this time to get them to max. Of course, everyone, how much did you pay for it and this and that? I'm just like, nothing. They took them out. Like, you have to get like 500 kills to get one upgrade on one of your weapons or something like that. Just play the game. But I know we're deviating off the topic here, but I play other games, and it makes me, to be honest, I don't get burnt out on Destiny 2. If you only play one game, you're going to get fried in it. You know, right now everyone's playing the Division, you know, and I love the Division, but the 1.8 to me, I've done all that content already, and it's for me. I did all that content last summer and 2 years ago. You know, 1.8 is not much that different than 1.7, which was what I played up until Destiny 2. But as for someone that's coming back to Destiny 2, try the Curse of Osiris content and see what's going to happen this Thursday with the future of the game and what they're going to implement in it.
The one thing
Yeah.
that I'll say is, and Mark and I, we also, like our buddy Alan, Mark Console, he was saying like he hasn't played the game in a week. Mark and I have taken a little time off too. But the reality of it is, remember when we did, Sean, when we did our whole Division thing, and we went and played the crap ton of Division, whenever that was.
Yeah.
Right? And when we came back to Destiny, we were like, there's no place like home.
Yeah, it
right?
felt like home, man. Yeah.
But it was because the thing that's great about Destiny is the movement.
Yeah.
So the gunplay is great. Now we can talk about meta and different things and it's blah blah blah. But we like the movement, and the movement is so good in Destiny that it's been copied by multiple games, and it's about to be copied by another game. And Anthem looks great, I gotta say. But Call of Duty did the whole thing where they tried to copy the movement of Destiny. Yeah. Anthem is going to basically be copying the movement of Destiny. The movement is what makes it extraordinary. So, with that being said, what I would say to Caden, I'm assuming it's Caden, what I would say is just go in and start shooting some aliens in the face and go have a little bit of fun. The next thing you know, you're going to look at your watch and shit, 2 hours is gone. That's what happens. And once you just start, if you don't worry about all the minutia and the negs that are always talking on Twitter and wherever, and just go play a freaking video game, you might actually have fun. and that's kind of,
strange concept.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I would tell him if you're looking just for something to bring you back. I mean, if you only played 30 hours, my guess is you probably haven't done all the adventures. Get out there and do the adventures. Like I said a few weeks ago, like I hadn't done them all, and I went back and did them. They're fun, even if you're doing like 2 a night. Just
great.
Sign on for a little bit, do a few of them, sign out. Go in and do your weekly milestones, if anything. Like just do that. Like if you've only done 30 and you haven't played a lot of Curse of Osiris, you're probably not max level. Just log in, do your milestones. That's the cool thing about that is it tells you what you need to do and what you can do to progress. So yeah, it sucks. You can't go on and log in every day, and I mean you can, but you can't log in and be getting all this powerful gear every single day all the time. But hey, at least once a week, 2 nights a week, you can log in, do your milestones, do that,
your
and
milestones,
then go play something else, like Sean said. Then move on after that and play something.
Right.
That's so. If anything, do that.
Do you
for
remember
now,
there were times in D1, Mark, that all we would do is we would go in and we would do our bounties, right?
Yeah.
We'd go in, we pick up our bounties, we go do our bounties, and that's all we did for a while there was a content drop. But we kept doing that. It's the same thing now. You're getting powerful gear by doing your milestones. Go in and do a milestone each day.
Make your goal to be 335. If you're not 335 yet, that's your goal, and the best way to do it, just do your milestones. That's it. Just work on your milestones.
Besides the milestones, too, I go in every day and I do each destination daily challenge and get a boatload of tokens because I always have the force. Well, no. All right. Let me rephrase that. Bungie will always come up with a way to for us to spend our currency. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Case in point, when Masterworks came out, I had hundreds of tokens that I cashed in to get. That first day alone, I got like 7 Masterwork weapons, and I just go in and do the daily challenges just because it's fun. They're easy. There's no stress. I'm not trying to get something done. Just go around, just shoot aliens and stuff. And I just lost my train of thought, but there was something I wanted to say about with the daily challenges. I don't know.
Get the tokens. Go in there and get your tokens.
Oh, no. I don't want to say. The token system is no different than leveling up a faction. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Or you do activities and you get a plus whatever and this and that, right? For that character. And you go in and go see Executor Hideo or Zavala, Ikora, whatever and this and that. But this time, you could do it on any character. You could go on a max level character, get a zillion tokens, but then, you know what, let me go cash them in on my Titan because my Titan needs some stuff, whatever. In essence, it's better than the whole faction system we had in Destiny 1 because you're not limited to 1 per character. But then again, at the same time, does it kind of... No, because you can go on all 3 characters, do all of the destination or strike challenges or crucible challenges, and then cash them all in on 1 character or all your characters, Right.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, like people don't realize, it's the same exact system, except you could take that reputation and use it on any of the characters.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Awesome email, Caden. Thanks.
Yep.
Let's see. Next one comes to us from Jason. He says, hey guys, fan of the show for a while now, and I thought I'd put in my 2 cents on the state of Destiny 2. Honestly, I don't really care what Tess is selling. I've used Dust to buy a few things, but haven't invested real cash since the first time it came out in Destiny 1, and I justified that with, oh, you don't know what helps bring new content? My biggest beef with D2 right now are the freaking bugs. I don't know about you guys, but the frequent and varied bugs in the raids drive our group to drink. Literally, we named our raid Night of the RJR, Raid Juice.
Raid
Booze
Juice
for
Run.
most.
Raid
Run
Juice
as it was
Run.
the best way to deal with the stuff
hard
that
to-
happens that should not. I.e. random wipes on Callus for no reason. Speed bumps not stopping you in the skull room. Or not stopping you in the skull room is another we have issues with a lot. I think people are too focused on Eververse and not on the content outside of that little stall in the new tower. Keep up the weekly shows as you're my outside of the game go-to source. Forums and Reddit are awash with salt, and it's enough to make you go blind. And have a great 2018.
Yes,
Jason.
I put that email in there. I mean, I searched through all the emails and I put this in there because it's a great email. But I wanted to point out one thing. Yes, there are some bugs here and there, but some of those things, like the speed bumps not stopping you, aren't always a bug. It's very easy to miss where there's an unlevel part of that flooring when you're sliding forward, and it pops you up just enough
It's so
to get over
frustrating.
that speed bump, and you're gone. So be very conscious of the floor when you're in that skull room, because there can be the smallest bump, and if you do something, especially if you hit jump, forget about that. But it's very easy to get over some of those. So there is a few things, or if you don't kill one of the scions, there's different things that will make you go right through that thing. So that's not always a bug as far as that one specific thing in the skull room. But I agree with you. Yes, there's been bugs.
The rendering glitch, that's the worst.
The rendering
dude.
one
You know
is-
that one?
yes,
And then
yeah.
you got to either I mean, like, you could change your armor, but there are a lot of bugs in the raid that needs to be fixed. I mean, especially, for my old friends that we used to raid all the time, that was a big nightmare for us. Oh, okay, we can't see XYZ. Now someone has to go back in orbit, then we got to rejoin on them for each encounter and stuff. But then there are some tricks where you could just swap armor and then it gets rid of the rendering glitch or whatever. But there is a lot of glitches. Those need to be fixed, but at the same time, it goes back to the Bungie podcast. When they have a bug, they have to diagnose it and go down the chain. How severe is it?
What's it going to
will
affect?
What will it take to go in and fix it? Then what will it take to play test it and then deploy it? I got a feeling a rendering glitch that we could just quickly fix by swapping armor. They're probably never going to fix that, you know?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
What do you think of have you had the tower glitch, Sean, where you spawn into the tower and it just is black?
Screen. Yeah.
I don't know if
yeah.
that's a pro.
Oh,
It seems like it's a PlayStation Pro thing where I sit there and it sits there for like 2 minutes. I haven't had it actually since the dawning, now that I'm thinking about it. But prior to that, I would go to the tower and I would just sit there for like 2 or 3 minutes, and sometimes I'd even have to just restart the game.
Yeah.
And I know that's been an issue.
I've had a
happened
bunch
to
of
me
them, and
this
it was one of my most popular tweets that I put out was that none of the vendors were there.
Oh, God, I've seen that
So
before.
I said they must be in a coffee break or something, and I took screenshots of them all being gone. And everybody responded with all their crazy little memes and different things and where the hell they were. But that's one of my favorite. I mean, that happened in Destiny 1 too a couple times. But that's one of my favorite ones when you're walking around and there's still people in the tower, but there's no vendors. And I'm like, what's going on? This is the craziest thing. So some of those things, they're fun and
It's an
cool,
online
but
game, and some of you just gotta take it for what it
happen.
is.
Right.
But
Exactly.
like, I do know that black screen going into the tower seemed to be an issue for a lot of people, especially on the PS Pro. But like I said, it never happened with the Dawning to me. I see somebody in the chat, who was it? Smirky Pants said it happened to him today. But I wonder if that was post Dawning. I wonder if the Dawning tower didn't have the problem.
Ed's saying
tower.
it just happened to him a minute ago. No Banshee.
There you go. See,
It did happen.
The
It happened
Dawning's
to me this
gone.
morning when I was doing my reset video, but it was like maybe a minute or two. But still, it's annoying.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Let's see one more email here. This one comes to us from Holy Munzilla, and he says, "What's up, guys? Big fan of the show. Thanks for putting it together for us. I have more of a topic than a question. I'm probably one of the few remaining Destiny supporters. However, I am slowly fading out. Come on, man. You're not the last remaining one. Or not one of the few. There's a lot of us out there." He says, "Not so much excuse of me personally, but more so because of one thing we all love Destiny for. The friends. I'm finding less and less people on every week. I log in, and it's hard to get motivated to do anything alone. He said, I miss the Tuesdays of old when my wife would ask, oh, today is raid day, right? Now there's no excitement to hop on and play. I still grind the milestones each week and enjoy when I'm playing, but once those are done, I find it hard just to run around." Holy Munzilla on PSN.
We feel your pain,
right, man.
Munzilla. You're absolutely right, 100%. And I'm in one of in my opinion, Mark and I are one of the best clans in all of Destiny universe, and we also have fewer people on, and it can be difficult if you want to go run something like a raid or even a nightfall sometimes to get enough people to go run the content that you want to run. And I get it. You're absolutely right. So as content comes around, which we're going to have these, we'll see what happens with Crimson Days and whether it's even a remote success or not. But with what's hopefully we get to hear on Thursday, Crimson Days, different things. I think we just had a good event with Mayhem being in the Dawning. Hopefully that will keep people, even if we have to bring a new set of Guardians to the forefront, since the ones that were here before are all pissed off and want to leave. That's fine. But if you love the game and you like to play, hit us up.
Yeah.
There are people that you can hit up that will play with you. I just spotlighted that clan that you just saw a picture of 30 people that will be there in a flash. They're on the 100 IO. So all of those things, you can overcome those things of not having people to play with. And hey, if you got a problem, hit us up, man.
I think the 100 IO is a great place because it's people actively searching out a clan.
Correct.
And it just matches you together. So right now in this time where maybe your regular clan has been falling off, maybe at least meeting up with some people in the 100.io may be a great way to find new people that are still happy and current with playing the game right now. I think that would be a great route. What do you think of guided games? We haven't talked really about guided games here, and it seems like, I don't want to say it's been a failure because I'm sure there's been some success stories of people playing it and that. But from everything I read, and one time just for the hell of it, I said, I'm going to do the Nightfall. Let's see what happens. I went in like 10 minutes and nobody.
Yeah, same thing with me. I tried it a couple of times, but then again, I tried it at like 3 in the morning and stuff like that. There are people out there who still play the game. Like my friends recently, they've all tapped out, right? But okay, granted, being a content creator, I can meet other people, right? So I put a message out on my Destiny PS4 Facebook community, and then I met some new people who all they do is play the game still. All they do is raid. They do the raid lair. They do the raid.
If you go and fly into the tower, there are still 20 people in there every single time.
Like everyone's like the game's dead and this and that. Like, look, I'm meeting people on my Destiny PS4 Facebook community who play the game more than I do still. You know what I mean? There are people out there. You just got to find them. And that's stuff. And that's where it comes to, that website that you were talking about, the Destiny PS4 Facebook community, if you're on PlayStation 4. But, I was amazed because I needed to do a Nightfall last week. So I just put a message out on, my Destiny community. And I, met a couple dudes, and that one dude, he's like, you want to run trials? And when I log in, he's on every day, and he's always doing like raid lair on the weekends, trials. You know what I mean? So there are people out there who still play this game nonstop. You just got to find them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They're there. You just got to go looking for them.
Yep.
But,
that's what I'm saying. Like every time that I log in, and every week, like worst case scenario, let's say I'm really busy. It's Tuesday or Wednesday. I haven't played yet. I'll go and get my raid engrams, or my clan engrams, excuse me, and the tower's full of people every single time. So there are people playing the game. It's just they might not be on your friends list. Well, make some more friends, man. You
can message everybody in the tower.
Right.
There is a way to do that. Just walk up, inspect them, and send them a message.
Yep.
There are ways to do that.
So my friends list is always usually pretty full just because I've added so many people over the years and stuff, because I used to do raids with subscribers in Destiny 1 all the time. So everyone else, my friends list is empty and this and that. Well, you need to get more friends. I mean, because my friends list is still at least 1 to 2 pages full of people during the daytime. At night, it definitely dies down a little bit, but
yeah,
I would think it would be the other way around. Or are you talking about night as being 3 a.m.?
As in Sean's 3 a.m.
Okay. My night, like 3, 4 a.m. That's when
his daytime. He's talking about 8 p.m.
Yeah. But for the most part, if I log in during the daytime because I've added so many people, I'll always have people to go do the Nightfalls with, or to do. We did trials last weekend. Like me and my friends with some PvP bees. There's still always people to do stuff out there with.
Yep.
No doubt. All right, guys. Well, don't forget emails, feedback at theguardiansofdestiny.com if you want to have your voice heard here on the show, because we need you guys to help fuel this show moving forward. I mean, obviously, next week we're going to have a ton to talk about with the big update, and God knows what Christopher Barrett's going to unleash here on the community. Let me put it this way, or ask you guys, do you think, positive or negative, Where's the community going to come from? I mean, it's the internet. I'm assuming negative.
They're going to go negative, but
it
we need
depends who you are, though.
Set expectations. Guys, listeners, it's not going to be an instant, the game is fixed as of Thursday. No. Set expectations. Let's see what they're going to deliver in terms of stuff they want to do from the go forward to improve the game. What I would like to see is a groundwork leading up to the next expansion where we can go into the next expansion very excited with all these new things, maybe mods and XYZ and this and that. I'll be looking forward to this expansion. But set expectations. It's not going to be an overnight fix.
Right.
And people so quickly forget Destiny 1 for the first year was in a lot of trouble. I was hearing Destiny is dead since 2014.
Well, when the
You know what I
division,
mean?
the division killed Destiny.
It killed Destiny.
Remember
Listen,
that?
I played
Right.
the Division every night for the first year until that became just a shit show that summer where they just destroyed everything. But look, it's going to evolve over time. And people don't want to hear that because we live in an age where you want everything now. It's not going to be like that. Destiny 1 evolved over time. You're comparing vanilla Destiny 2 to a Destiny 1 with 3 years of updates, expansions, raids, and this and that. It's an unfair comparison, I feel.
Well,
like.
I'll say
different animals,
I will say this, and I'm not on the negative side, but I will say this: we had all of the stuff with Destiny 1 and all the stuff that we went through. That Destiny 2 shouldn't be a vanilla Destiny 2.
We shouldn't have
True.
to do it again.
But the reality of it is they tried to make so many wide sweeping changes to appease the masses and all the complaints about the problems that were wrong with Destiny 1 that they made some changes, I think, that were too drastic. And now they have to fix that.
And if they release Destiny,
which makes your original analogy kind of correct in that, yes, then we're in vanilla Destiny 2. The thing that people are pissed about is that we shouldn't be back to vanilla Destiny 2.
That's
We should have learned from Destiny 1, and now we're going forward. But the reality of it, the funny thing is, they listened so much that they listened too well and did too much.
But if they made Destiny 2 exactly like Destiny 1 in terms of you logged in, you had your Crucible bounties, you had your Vanguard bounties, they would have gotten eaten alive because they would have called it an expansion. This is not a new game.
Right.
They made a new game, and they in my opinion, appealed to the casuals. And they appealed to a lot of the complaints that the PvP folks have. I know I get a lot of S for that. But I feel like they catered to a lot of people. You know, it's a new game. I'm not judging it. I'm not comparing it to Destiny 1 because they're two different animals. That's just my opinion, you know.
Yeah.
And
Wouldn't we agree that they make really good changes when things get dire and things need to be changed, that they listen and they make appropriate changes? I have faith in them that they're going to do that. And I mean, like you said, it's not going to be boop. Okay, great. It's fixed on Thursday. No, but you know what? If they give us a roadmap and they say, this is what we're going to do, and then they start implementing those things and the game progressively gets better.
Come back when it's better. If it's not good for you now, just come back when it's better.
Yeah. I mean, like,
literally, that's all you got to do.
I mean, like, people, they get so upset. I'm just like, listen, take a break. It's okay to take a break. You know what I mean? Like, let them do what they need to do. You know, like you said, K-Dub, you know, when we were in some Bungie pretty much, they listened to us in Destiny 1 and made changes on what we wanted for Destiny 1. You know what I mean? Right. How much did we beg for the old raids to come back? How much fun was Age of Triumph when we got all those weapons, the adept weapons and everything?
Yep.
They nailed it with Age of Triumph. You know what I mean? I have confidence that as much as everyone's saying, I'm tired of hearing listening and tweets and this and that. All right, sit back, take your hands off the keyboard and just wait, okay? See what they bring to the table. If you like it, you play it. If you don't, tap out for a little bit.
Here's my last little silly little rant. So all the streamers and the YouTubers and the people that they want to make some grandiose announcement that they're leaving Destiny. I'm done with Destiny. Number one, okay? Don't make some big grandiose thing to bring attention to yourself that you're leaving Destiny. Just leave. Just go.
Nah, it's about that money, baby.
I know, right?
Using those clicks,
That's
baby.
what's so funny. And then so now when you make these grandiose statements, I'm going to put a thing together with all of them. And then when they're all back and making videos again, I'm going to go, wait a minute. You said you were out. What happened? Oh, wait, you're not really out.
I saw a tweet the other day that was perfect. It was like 20% of people don't care about what you feel, and the other 80% want you to feel that way. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, no one cares. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to leave bye. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go do okay. I said this the other day when I was getting into some heated arguments on Twitter. James Hetfield said it the best on Joe Rogan's podcast. People should be less obsessed with stopping what I'm enjoying and spend more time enjoying what you're enjoying. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Don't worry about me, because you know what? I don't care what you like. You like XYZ. Look, Overwatch, I'm sorry. I don't get it. But a lot of people love that game. And I see it. You know what? God bless them. Had fun with it. Fortnite, everyone loves it. It's not for me. I love Battlefront. Not a lot of people like Battlefront. World War II. I love World War II. You know what I mean? I like what I like, and I'm going to enjoy it. You like what you like, and you go enjoy it. I'm not going to tell you not to enjoy what you like to play. You know what I mean?
Right.
And at the end of the day, we're all gamers, Sean.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the whole. All of this is people just like playing video games because they're a way to escape reality and just have fun. Why can't people just be this positive gaming community rather than be so divided and have views against what games you like or other people like? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like we play for teams, you know, like I like the Yankees, you like the Red Sox, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you like the Red Sox, we're going to fight right now. You know what I mean? Like,
I do hate some Red Sox fans, though, Sean. I really don't. I don't like.
I don't know what. I only follow combat sports, man. I don't follow any football or baseball like that. But
there's like, two sports teams in the world I hate, and that's the Red Sox and the Baltimore Ravens. So
and the Patriots.
But like even with fighters that I follow and stuff, you know, like that I watch, I may not like some of them, but I respect their craft. I respect what they do. Yep. You know, that one dude, like, listen, I don't do jiu-jitsu. I do Muay Thai, but man, that guy can roll on the floor and he will ragdoll you and strangle you. You know what I mean? But I don't like that. You know, I like strikers. That's what I want to watch. At the same time, I respect that. And I'm like, whoa.
We could keep going on here, guys. I mean, this is just beating a dead horse. I don't even know how we got down this path here. It always just ends up going down there.
It does.
But let's wrap it up there, guys. Like I said, next week it's going to be a big episode. Lots to talk about. We will be live Monday again here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Guardian Radio, 8:30 p.m. Eastern.
We will be on Monday.
It will be on Monday, yep, this week for sure. Check now the show. We're going to start pushing it to Sean's channel. So, Sean, you want to give a quick plug there for your YouTube channel?
Mesa Sean on YouTube, and if you want to follow me on Mesa Sean on Twitter, the shows usually be uploaded the day after we do them. So tonight's Tuesday, it'll be up there Wednesday morning.
Yep. And we are working, so again, thank you everybody over on Twitch. I know we're kind of working on our whole setup here for the videos. I mean, it seemed to go pretty good. I mean, there's a little things I'd like to change. And if you notice me talking a little bit weird this episode, it's because I have like my voice, a monitor, which I usually do have a monitor in my ear, but now with the whole setup we have, it's like a third of a second behind, and it's throwing me off, man. Like it's really hard to try and talk. That's why if you notice when I read the emails, I pulled my earbud out, just like, nah, I'm just gonna talk so I don't have to hear. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe I just pull it out when you guys are talking. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, please give props to Mark in the comment section, because Mark has been dealing with all the tech issues on the end. K-Dub and I are just sitting there like, we got this thing started, whereas Mark has been sitting there.
Come on, man.
Why is an XSplit doing this and that? So Mark's been pulling his hair out. So show Mark some love in the comment section for putting this together tonight. And I'm sure I like doing the face cam thing. It's fun seeing you guys.
We got to keep it going, man.
We'll perfect it and get it rolling, and maybe we can get Mark to get little things around our stuff and whatnot.
Yeah, we're gonna work on all that. But see, it's the thing. Like, I've always used the Mac to record the podcast, and I want to just use my PC, one PC, to do it all. I don't want to have like we always had the Mac for the podcast and the PC for the video and all that stuff, and I just want to use one thing. I don't want to have to use two. I got two screens going, which that's working, but I want to do just the PC thing. So I mean, I know I'm going to reach out to people this week on how they're doing the whole just the PC side, but Macs just make it so much easier, right, Sean?
Yeah.
And actually, Sean, we're looking at a new iMac, my wife and I, because we got a 08 iMac, and it's dogging out a little bit. So I said, you know what? Let's do it. So
time to get a new one.
We get a new iMac. Yep.
Nice, man.
Time. But all right, everybody. Again, thank you as always for making us a part of your week. However you're tuning in, whether it's through YouTube, Twitch, iTunes, Podbean, whatever. Thank you so much. And with that, we'll catch you guys next time. Later.
Yes.
I'm dead.
Yoda. Yeah. Oh, what is that? The Gallahorn?
The galley. Is that the Gallahorn? The gal.
Is that the Gallahorn?
That's great. All right, let me stop that. Stop.